Hey guys, Kev here. Wanted to make actually a positive video today. I know I make a lot of videos, where I talk about a lot of negative stuff, but Summer's Game Fest just ended. And usually I'm not crazy about a lot of the showcases. I'm just not crazy about the stuff Jeff Keighley puts on for the most part. Nothing against Jeff, just the presentation that he does normally doesn't do a lot doesn't excite me versus the old E3 presentations, which I actually really prefer. And I feel the kind of the same way about the VGAs. I'm not crazy about those either. Um, However, the showcase that usually does actually excite me and actually does usually pique my interest is usually the Xbox showcase, and this year was no exception to that rule. There were three standout games for me in particular that really stood out, and we're kind of start with they're all RPGs. And I'm not a fan of Xbox making games $80. I actually think that sucks that all their first parties going to $80. I don't think any video game is worth $80. I didn't think games were worth the 60 when they're asking for AAA games a lot of the time. And I think that 70, again, for the most part, depending on the developer, isn't really worth it. But this is one of those games that the first game at least, is one of those games that I probably will play day one and play at full price because Atlas has never let me down, and I was so excited for this Persona 4 Revival. Now, my first reaction to this was Revival. We thought it was going to be like Persona 4 Rerun or Rewind, which I still think was the best name in the community. When they came up with Revival, though, I don't like the name Revival for that. I think Rerun or Rewind were so much better names. But I am glad that we're getting a Persona 4 remake. I did play the Persona 4 Golden PC port about a year ago, actually last summer, 2024, and I absolutely loved it. And I was actually, but at the same time, I didn't think we were actually going to get the game. I didn't think Persona 4 was ever going to get that remake without a lot of changes. And it's a lot of it because of Teddy, especially with the wardrobe malfunction scene. Those of you that have played it know the kids in the summertime go to the beach, and Teddy says, "Hey, I need someone to have a wardrobe malfunction." Of course, he's talking to the girls; they're grossed out. Teddy's gonna get canceled. That modern Western culture, Teddy's gonna get canceled. But other than that, I'm excited for this. I'm interested to see how if they change Teddy at all, because Teddy was a bit much for modern culture. They showed us a few screenshots, and you can see them on Sega's website, where they've completely updated some of the art. You see the main classroom. You can see some of the TV stacked up in the TV world, and then you see the main street over by the shrine where you normally meet your Fox companion, or your Fox social link, I should say, and you can see you walking down the street. The art style looks fine. I do kind of prefer the old art style, the old chibi, the one I guess a lot of people I saw online calling it chibi. I don't know if I call it chibi. I like that proportions. It's a lot better as far as like all of the world around the characters just don't seem massive. It seems proportionate now, which I like. I don't like how bright it is compared to like seems like there's too much light in the environment compared to what I would want to see or what we saw in the older games. It just seems like it's just really bright out in ways that it shouldn't be. Like the lighting doesn't feel natural enough. I wish it was a little more subtle. But other than that, I like how it looks. So yeah, but I do still kind of prefer the old art style. But I'm not. It's not bad. It's not going to push me away from the new version. I am curious to see what they're going to do because of the three latest Persona mainline titles. Royal, Reload, Persona 3 Reload, and now Revival. When they came with Reload, they really added a lot of stuff to make it more like Persona 5. And I'm curious if they're going to do that here with Persona 4 as well. I like the character of Persona 4. If there were some things I would want them to change, is maybe your weapons. The weapons are just kind of boring with the way they do it. It's really you just buy new weapons to upgrade so you can do more damage. But there's nothing really particularly interesting about any of the weapons. And I would like to see them add some of the flashiness, the flashy combat like they added to Persona 3 Reload. That I really liked, and I'd like to see that. But I don't want them to change like the core of the game. Like, don't change Chie at all. She is amazing. Yukiko is amazing. Like the characters there, like outside really of Teddy, I think Teddy is going to be a bit much for modern audiences. But other than that, I wouldn't change anything, and I don't even want them to change Teddy. I like Teddy. I just think he's the HR call waiting to happen. That's all I'm gonna say about Teddy. But overall, I'm looking forward to this. We didn't get a release date yet, and I would love to have a release date. And the Persona Modern Trilogy are some of my favorite RPGs of all time, so I'm very excited to play this. But I don't know. We don't know when it's coming out. I'm assuming it'll probably be sometime next year, probably the earlier half of the year. I'm sure we'll get a release date soon. But just the fact that we can see that it's true, we see it's real. We were seeing all kinds of rumors about, voice actors not being called back to reprise their roles. And we saw all kinds of leaks, industry leaks saying that, hey, this is happening, this is coming. So I don't know. So I'm glad that this is happening. I am glad, I am happy to see that we are making this change. Or, I am glad, I am happy to see that this is happening. I just need a release date so I can play this. Also coming day one, I believe, on Game Pass, which is going to be cool. I do believe they said it's coming on Game Pass. I'd have to double check that though, but I'm pretty positive it is. Oh no, I'm looking at the Xbox app now. Looks like for right now it's just Xbox Play Anywhere. Still cool. It was revealed at the Xbox show. But overall, I'm happy to see this. I'm excited to play this again. And I want to know, what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Of course, if you're new to my channel, I'd love to have you subscribe. I'll talk to you guys next time. Thanks for watching.